Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're breaking down how you operate a drone, from the basic science that gets it off the ground, all the way to the professional mindset that keeps it flying safe.
So here's our flight plan. We'll kick things off with the fundamentals of flight. Then we'll jump into the pilot's controls. After that, we'll cover the super important rules of the sky. And we'll rack up with the habits that make a pro a pro.
All right, first up, how do these things actually stay in the air? I mean, it really looks like they're just defying gravity, but it's all about the science of staying aloft.
It really does look like magic, doesn't it? But it's actually a super brilliant application of some core physics principles that have been around for more than 100 years.
Okay, so here's the secret. Every single propeller blade is what's called an airfoil. You can just think of it like a tiny little airplane wing. As it slices through the air at super high speed, the air has to travel further and faster over that curved top surface. This creates lower pressure above the blade compared to the bottom, and that pressure difference, that's lift. It's literally pulling the drone straight up into the air.
Now, you might be wondering, why doesn't the drone just spin out of control? Well, this is where it gets really clever. You've heard of Newton's third law, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If all the propellers spun the same way, the drone's body would just spin like crazy in the opposite direction. So what designers did is they have the propellers on a diagonal spin in opposite directions. It's a genius design that means their rotational forces, what we call torque, perfectly cancel each other out. And that is what keeps the drones so stable.
And this slide really gets to the heart of it. Moving a drone isn't like steering a car at all. It's all about tilting. There's a little onboard computer, the flight controller, and it's constantly making these tiny adjustments. So if you want to move forward, it just slows down the front two motors a tiny bit and speeds up the back two. That causes the drone to tilt or pitch forward, and that directs some of its lift into forward momentum. It's brilliant.
Okay, so let's move on. We know how it flies, but now let's see how you, the pilot, get to control all these forces with just a couple of joysticks. Most drone controllers use what's called a Mode 2 layout. And you know what? It's actually super intuitive. Your left stick handles your altitude and rotation. You push up to climb, down to descend. You move it side to yaw, which is just rotating in place. Then your right stick handles all your directional movement, pitch forward and back, and roll side to side. That's it. 4 simple inputs give you complete control. It's so elegant in its simplicity.
Now this is probably the biggest mental hurdle for every new pilot. The controls are always relative to the nose of the drone. So pushing the right stick to the right will always make the drone roll to its right. But when that drone is flying towards you, its right is your left. It's a total brain bender at first, but mastering this inverted control is a rite of passage for every single pilot.
You know, knowing how to fly is really only half the battle. Now we've got to cover where and when you are legally allowed to be in the air, because the sky is a shared space with some very, very specific rules. In the US, the FAA makes a really clear distinction. If you're flying for any reason other than just pure fun, personal enjoyment, let's say you're taking photos for a real estate agent, even if it's just a favor, you automatically fall under the commercial rules, called Part 107. That requires a much more rigorous certification. For recreational flyers, you just need to pass a pretty simple online safety test called Trust. It is so crucial to understand that the sky is organized into different zones. You have to know where you are. So think of this big open blue area as Class G airspace. It's uncontrolled, and it's where most hobbyists fly. But as you get closer to airports, you start to enter controlled airspace, which you can imagine as these invisible layers stacked on top of each other. That's your Class D, C, and B airspace. And you absolutely need authorization from air traffic control to enter. And then you have these special zones, like this red box here, that are complete no-fly zones you have to avoid entirely. Now, this chart looks incredibly complicated, I get it. But here's the good news. Modern drone apps make this so much easier. They overlay all this information onto a real-time map, showing your location and any restrictions, even temporary ones for stuff like a football game or an emergency. The golden rule is simple. Always, always check your app before you fly. Think of Remote ID as a digital license plate for your drone. It's a new requirement, and what it does is it broadcasts basic info, like the drone's location and its serial number. This lets authorities and even other aircraft identify it. As our skies get busier and busier, this technology is absolutely key to telling the legal flyers apart from any potential threats. It just makes the airspace safer for everyone. All right, last section. Let's look at what truly separates a hobbyist from a professional. It's all about a systematic, disciplined approach to safety and preparation. This number right here is staggering, 60%. What does that mean? It means that over half of all drone incidents happen because of equipment failure, failures that are almost always preventable. The takeaway here is that a thorough pre-flight check isn't just a suggestion, it is the single most important thing you can do to prevent a disaster.
Professional pilots are so methodical about this. Before every single flight, they run through a checklist, just like this one. They're checking the weather, they're physically inspecting the drone for any damage, especially the props. They confirm the batteries are healthy, the SD card is clear, and, oh, this is a classic rookie mistake, they remember to take the cover off the camera stabilizer, the gimbal, before they power it on. You know, battery management is a whole discipline in itself. These lithium batteries are incredibly powerful, but you have to respect them. For instance, never store them fully charged for long periods. You want to aim for a storage charge around 50%. Always let them cool down after a flight before you recharge them. And please, use a fireproof bag for charging and storage. Huge difference.
And here are the hard and fast rules, the absolute don'ts. Never charge a hot battery, and never, ever leave one charging unattended. If you see a battery that is even slightly puffy or swollen, you need to treat it like a serious fire hazard, because it is. It's compromised. Safely discharge it and dispose of it immediately. Following these simple rules will extend the life of your batteries, but more importantly, it could prevent a serious accident. This is a mantra that comes from manned aviation, and it applies perfectly here. Aviate, navigate, communicate. If something goes wrong, maybe you lose your video feed or you get a compass error. Your first and only priority is to aviate. Just fly the aircraft. Don't worry about getting the perfect shot or anything else until that drone is stable or safely on the ground. Always fly the aircraft first. So really, it all comes down to this pyramid of skills. You have to start with a foundation in the science of how it flies. Then, on top of that, you build the skill to control it and the knowledge of the rules. And all of that is capped off by the professional discipline to operate safely every single time. If you can master these layers, you will be a confident and a competent drone pilot. From automated package delivery to searching for lost hikers in the wilderness, the potential for this technology it's truly limitless. But unlocking that amazing future, it really depends on every single pilot committing to a culture of safety and responsibility, starting